welcome to another episode of Financial Freeway. My name is David J. Attwood. I am the man rocking the Ray-Bans. And I know I said we were going to do our last morning recording last week, but I realized this morning there's still a little bit of light left. And I tried doing recording in the afternoon. It's really weird how we get used to rhythms and patterns, and doing the recording in the afternoon just didn't work out for me. I popped it in. I know I can get there, but my mind was just like, no, we're gonna relax and just listen to music and get home. So I thought I'd do one more morning recording because there's still a little bit of light this morning, and I noticed that in the last recording there's more light than what I had thought at the time, probably because we're wearing Ray-Bans, but we're still recording. So it's interesting how we do get used to doing things a certain way, and it's a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bad thing, especially if you've got bad habits. But what a great thing when you start getting used to going to the gym in the morning, or you start getting used to listening to audiobooks that about finance, investments, or abundance or happiness. It is it's a tool that the human body already has. You can biohack into it and use to get yourself to that next level, to that level of greatness that you're looking for. And as simple as going to the gym every morning. At first, and it's so funny how it happened, like with the cold dip. I love to use the cold dip as an example of these things because it's pure misery. There's nothing about doing the cold dips in the ocean that I enjoy. Nothing at all. I don't enjoy any of it. Well, I didn't. And now I need it. If I don't do a cold dip, I miss it. I really miss it. Let's get this. Sometimes you got to stop for those yellow lights. So we started doing the cold dip, and I hated it. I hated every minute of it. I would beg, I would plead with God that Seth would sleep in and forget to show up, and then I'd have every excuse in the world not to do it. And it wouldn't be my fault. It would be Seth's fault. So I'd still have that accountability taken care of, but I wouldn't have to do it. And then I started just I started being able to accept the pain of the whole thing, accept getting up early, accept the cold, the wet, the dark, the fear. I just accepted it. It became part of the routine. And then when we were talking about it last Friday, when we were at the water, I said, I need it. It's funny how it gets to that point. You start with hating it, and then you just learn to accept it and just do it. And then you start to get used to it. It becomes, that rhythm, and then eventually your body needs it. So now I don't know if I could ever stop doing cold dipping. I don't think I could ever stop jumping in the ocean at 5:30 in the morning. It is, and the only reason I don't do it every day, by the way, is because the time. It is a time suck, and I can't get any of my work done in the morning. So having a cold shower in the afternoon does the same thing for me. The nice thing, I always say this, the nice thing with the cold shower is you get out of the cold shower and you're in a warm house. You don't have to walk 50 meters to your car from the cold, through the seaweed and the gunk and the flotsam. So it is nice that way. But it is that way about, I think it's about that way about everything, right? Like you start eating healthy. You start, I started last year doing this thing where before I have my morning cup of coffee, the first thing I do when I get up, and I thought I'd talk about this a little bit too. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I have an 8-ounce glass of water. and I just put just a pinch of Himalayan salt into that water. I do my, I drink that down right away, and I kind of I used to look at it as, oh, I'm just giving my insides a bit of a shower first thing in the morning. And you know, at first it was like, ugh, I had to force myself to drink this water. And by the way, a pinch of salt in 8 ounces of water, you can't taste the salt. The water does have a slightly different feel to it, but you don't taste it. It's not a salty water. I call it the salty water, but it's not. So I drank that down, and at first I just started doing it, and it was effort, right? Because now I got a belly full of water first thing in the morning, and then I started having my cup of coffee. I was like, ugh, didn't enjoy it. Now I need it. Now I get up in the morning and it's like, I can't start my day without that salty water. And by the way, one of those things, much like the cold dipping, I highly recommend get an 8 ounce glass of water, sprinkle a little bit of Himalayan salt into it. I don't know why I can't speak English first thing in the morning. It's crazy. Put the Himalayan salt in there. Just a quarter twist of that lid to get the grind in there. Give it a stir. Drink it down. Drink it before you have any caffeine at all. Before you have any anything else other than just throw that into your system. And I learned this from watching a guy, Huberman, I think his name is, and he talks about biohacking. And what happens is it activates the electrolytes in your system. Well, it is an electrolyte that you're drinking. And if you think about it, it's just like having a homemade Gatorade first thing in the morning, without the sugar, without the dye, without the citric acid. You're having something that is 100% just pure electrolytes, and it kickstarts your brain. Your brain kickstarts, and it is it's an amazing thing. Start doing that. Just that thing. Even if you don't diet, if you're not you're not going to the gym, you're not reading, just do that. Just do that simple thing. Just get up there and throw an 8 ounce glass of water into your system first thing in the morning, and you will start to notice a difference. And the funny thing about doing these biohacks is it's not like a switch. Like when you drink alcohol or you do drugs, there's a switch. It's a button. You push it, you wait your 15 minutes, it kicks in, and boom, you're feeling it. With this, with all the biohacks things I've done, like the cold dipping and the salt water, it's this gentleness that you start to wonder, and you won't notice it at first. And that's what I did. I didn't notice it at first, but then one day I actually sat and started to kind of dissect my emotions for the morning. Like, why was I feeling so happy? Why was I feeling so good? Yesterday morning I was like just on fire, bursting with happiness. And if it's going to cost me chugging down an 8 ounce glass of salty water in the morning to feel that good, I'm doing it. But you don't notice these things when you start doing all this stuff. I didn't understand I did understand with the cold dip, because the cold dip was, the first time I did a cold dip was in the most extreme situation. It was winter, it was snowing, it was pitch black, it was early, it was bitterly cold, and I was honestly afraid that I was going to I honestly thought I was going to die going into the ocean. When I went down, and the guy, Seth, when he was with me, he said, we looked at each other and said, we're not trying to outdo each other. We're not trying to outperform each other, outlast each other. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Stay in as long as we think we can. But my mind was so afraid of dying. I was so afraid that this was going to kill me that I was like, I got to get out of here. But you don't notice these things, and then a couple hours later, you're sitting there feeling like Superman. You're feeling superhuman. You're feeling better than you thought possible. And again, like I say, if it cost me 11 minutes in the cold, and if it cost me an 8 ounce glass of salty water to feel like I could take on the world every day, feeling more alive, more human. You're not sleepy, that's for sure. It's the absolute opposite. Your brain is... I feel sometimes I have to slow it down. Like I put the brakes on because it's just going too fast and running too hard, simply from salty water and cold dips. And this is why this is why I'm such a proponent of it now, is that I sat down one day and I started to actually think about, why am I feeling so good? What's going on? And 8 hours of sleep. Well, I actually get about right now, I think I'm around 6 hours of sleep. But I think, now don't quote me on this, but I think as we get older, you just don't need as much sleep, or you just can't sleep as long because serotonin levels drop, I think. But get your full night's sleep. And that means no alcohol, because alcohol actually affects your sleep. I used to think alcohol made you sleepy and made you sleep, but what it does is you pass out. And when that effect, when that anesthetic effect of the sleep or the alcohol wears off, you wake up and you've got insomnia. You got a problem. Also, alcohol just, it's not the best. So get your 8 hours sleep. Do it naturally. And as I said before in another podcast, in order to get that 8 hours of sleep, you got to make yourself tired, which means you have to work hard, which means you have to get up early. And there's all these different things you have to do in order to prepare for that good night's sleep. You're not going to be able to get a good night's sleep unless you work hard the day before. So it's kind of funny. So if you're tired right now, like a couple nights ago, I was really tired, super tired, because I didn't have a good night's sleep, and I wanted to go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. And Gabby was there saying, no, push yourself, or else you'll wake up early and you'll keep the cycle going. So push yourself to get. So you got to be tired to have a good night's sleep. Remember that. But good night's sleep, 8-ounce glass of salty water, cold showers. Anything to get those veins to be constricting. Anything to get them happening. Get that core cold. Bring that temperature down and warm up. And when you warm up, by the way, warm up slow. If you ever start doing cold therapy, warm up slow. Let your body do the work to warm you up. That's where you get the metabolism. That's where you're going to get the metabolic work. That the body's going to have to work a little harder to create that heat for you. And also, if you warm up too fast, you can get that vasodilation where it opens up the veins too quick, and then you might get a little lightheaded. So that could be an issue. So it's, as I said, like, you could use these simple biohacks, really simple, like habit forming. Start doing something you don't want to do, like going to the gym. Start doing that. Getting up 10 minutes earlier. As hard as it is, and I did it this morning, as hard as it is, get up 10 minutes earlier. Get out the door a little bit earlier every day. Start doing that. Number one, you're bettering yourself by doing that. You're becoming a better human being by doing that. So that's the first thing. Number two, it's going to be hard at first, but it won't be as hard as you think it is. And that's the funny thing about doing this kind of stuff. Our mind doesn't want change. Our mind loves a routine. So as you're trying to change your routines, your mind's going to stop and resist, and it's going to create really, really powerful negative futuristic scenarios in your mind. But it's not really that hard. When you start doing it, you'll actually see it, you'll understand it. Number three, you would be surprised at how quickly you starting a new routine becomes habit forming, and how quickly it becomes something. One day you just look around and go, I need this. I skipped the gym a couple of weeks ago, and I was at work and I was just miserable. I was miserable with my coworkers. I was miserable with everybody. I was just in a bad mood, and everything they were doing was making me more upset. And I went back, and when I have these emotional states, I like to think, what did I do different today? What is going on? When all the other days I feel good, what's different today? I didn't go to the gym. I've gotten to the point where I need it. I need to hit that, do the 2K every morning. I need to get those weights. I need to get in there. Even though I may not have gotten to that beach body that I've been looking for the last couple of years. Not there yet, but even though I'm not there, I'm still feeling the psychological, the physiological benefits, which affect your emotions of getting to the gym every day. Start pointing your ship where you want it to go. Start moving. As you start moving, you will start to form the habits that keep you on track, and eventually it'll be easy. Eventually you'll be the one giving advice to people. You'll be the one talking about how great salty water is, or how great cold therapy is, or how great the gym is. You'll be giving the advice, because you will start to recognize and see just how powerful these little changes on our system really are. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for watching. I really do believe that this is the last morning. I might be able to get another week, actually. Looking around, it's not that bad. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out Financial Freeway, 23.ca. That's where all the really, really good stuff is. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. You know, I would really love to have more subscribers. That's always such a sweet little treat. And as I always say, spread the good news. Spread the good news so we can let the entire world understand that everyone has the right, the inalienable right, to live a life of success and abundance. Wherever you are in this beautiful world today, I want to wish you a great day. God bless.